putting their hand on it and then they go behind it. I don't know what my point is. In any event, this is Steven Sebring, our director. So if you have any questions, sorry, in a way it's strange to do this because I know when I watch a movie, I don't want anybody to bother me. I just want to go and think about it, and I'm bothering you in a way, but I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But since we're here, and does anybody have any questions?
Good.
Okay. Good night.
Want to sign a poster from Steven that I got at the Rubin Museum? One of your photos of Patti 4 years ago?
Yeah.
I have one. I was wondering if you could sign it.
Oh, well, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, on the way out.
Okay.
You know, it doesn't have to be a positive question. If you have a complaint or anything.
I noticed there was very little mention of drugs in the film, and I'm just curious.
This is a positive question.
There was that period of time. There was a lot of drugs going on and everything, especially with rock and roll bands.
Really?
I'm just curious why there wasn't that much mention about it.
Well, first of all, Steven filmed this in the past 11 years where there was really probably no drugs around. I mean, I was, you know, mom, taking care of my kids, and I don't do and have never done drugs around my kids. And for myself, I was never a big drug taker. I've always respected drugs, and I don't really use them recreationally. You know, I use them, you know, for spiritual reasons or to work. And drugs has never been an important part of my on-the-road life. It's like, you know, I mean, me and Lenny Kaye used to smoke pot in the 70s because, you know, we hung out with, you know, a lot of Rastafarians, and it was part of a certain kind of lifestyle. But the whole, you know, drugs and chicks and limousine thing was never really that important to me. So it's not that we disguised or edited any, there weren't any drugs around. I mean, I have a drummer who's in Alcoholics Anonymous, and Lenny, you know, does a little pot here and there, and, you know, my bass player, you know, he is Irish, he has a couple of beers here and there, but, you know, it's not really that important to us. And it doesn't mean that we're like a bunch of fruitcakes or something, it just means it's not really that important to us right now in our life. So saying, let's get stoned. I mean, you know, sometimes we smoke, in that period, sorry to spend so much time on this, but I'm trying to make sure that I don't that I tell the truth and stuff. I think like in earlier, I mean, I smoked a little pot in some parts of that time, but it's really bad for singing. And even in the 70s, I was more a hashish eater than a pot smoker. And I'll tell you one thing, you do not want to eat hashish around your children. Not because it's even morally wrong, it's because your children start looking like aliens. And all their things that are normal children's stuff seem so far out, you know. And anyway, that's why. Did you miss the drugs? I mean, were Well, it was, no, she did, it was a cross, that was a humorous, some kind of pet, you know, collage or something, but it wasn't accurate because, first of all, like, I would never do cocaine in a recording studio. First of all, I had very little use for cocaine, but second of all, you can't snort tons of cocaine and sing. It's not possible. So that was exaggerated. And also my armpit hair was only about an inch long, not a foot long. But I have a sense of humor. Taking the kids. Poor kids. Any more questions?
Hello,
Yes.
Patti. Well, first of all, I'd like to say your hair looks great, so I don't know what the lady at New York Magazine was thinking. But
Yeah, oh yeah, well, that was the New York Times Magazine. Really, I talked to that woman for almost 2 hours about art, politics, I mean, all kinds of spiritual things, but she seemed fixated on my hair. And I will admit, yeah, it was over the phone. I like talked to her for hours. I mean, this woman wrote a book on Joseph Cornell. I mean, I spoke about Joseph Cornell and, you know, Marcel Duchamp and, you know, the Iraq War and Dubois, and, you know, we wound up with hair care. So, in any event, I did cut off several inches of my hair. And recently, I admit that obviously I, you know, put a darker rinse on it. But I did that not because I'm trying to look younger or any of that stuff. That's sort of impossible. Why I did that is I feel really uncomfortable with light hair. And until I get used to having light hair, you know, when I get really old and like, or live on the beach with my dog or something. But while I have to like exist in public life and see myself in pictures, it just is uncomfortable for me to see myself with light hair. It's like, even if I woke up and was the most gorgeous blonde, it would seem really weird. Because I've had dark hair all my life. So my daughter said it was okay, so I did it.
my question.
I did it.
That wasn't your question?
No,
Oh, sorry.
My question actually is.
Does it look okay?
My question is this the life that you dreamt of as a child, or is it the life that happened while you were living?
When I was a child, I thought that I was going to be a missionary or a nun or somebody, or an intellectual or a theologist. So my life has certainly turned out different. But in any event, since I was a child, I always wanted to do something wonderful, something special. And maybe my life isn't exactly how I thought it would turn out, but it's been, even with its ups and downs and great downs, it has been and continues to be a wonderful life. So I'm happy.